picked your fish though, then you can start looking at your actual fish tank. What is it going to look like? I did get this image off of a custom aquarium company. So they will build a tank dedicated to your home or to your business. And a lot of these different kinds of examples are really not good ones. A triangle, anything with like a corner, weird, not 90-degree, but more of an acute angle, really hard to clean. I don't recommend it. L shapes are becoming a little bit more popular in the industry, specifically in saltwater, but the basic beginner friendly is going to be that rectangle square, maybe a bow front, maybe even a double bull nose, maybe just a regular bull nose, but I don't recommend like getting an arch right for your first tank unless you're like super rich or you have your own company and you want an arch fish tank and you're hiring someone to take care of your fish for you, then you can get an arch. But I would just recommend for a beginner a bow front or a rectangle square. It's going to be the easiest ones to pick. Okay, so once you actually have the actual fish tank part figured out, you figured out the size, you figured out the shape that you want, then you're going to look at the actual stand. I can't tell you how many people will get a desk or a table to put their fish tank on and it can't support the weight because a lot of people don't attribute tanks to being that heavy, but once you fill them with water and you fill them with the decor and the fish, it gets really heavy. So I highly recommend getting an actual fish stand for your fish tank. And there's so many different options. A lot of beginner friendly options are going to be a package deal. And I love the packages. If I got fish again, I would be doing an actual package deal where it has built-in lights. The filtration's already built in. We call this a drilled tank. I don't have to do any plumbing. And then it comes with a stand. That's what I would be doing because that's generally the easiest option. It might already have the filtration built into it too, which is awesome. So highly recommend getting a built-in like whole package deal. They can be pretty pricey. Some of these I put up here, some of them are $200-$300. The white one that one's pretty pricey. That one can be anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000 depending on the size of the tank. You can also do secondhand ones as well. A lot of people, as their fish grow, they have to also upgrade their tanks. So then what they do is they put their old ones on the market for a cheaper price. So you could also do secondhand. I love secondhand products, and specifically fish tanks and stands. Great purchase, especially because then it almost always comes with the filtration. Sometimes they just want to get rid of all of their fish entirely, so they'll just give you everything. So then you don't even have to worry about spending more money on your fish too. So just think about that as an option. Yes, some desks and tables will support the weight of your fish, but again, a stand is recommended. Then you've got lighting, which again depends on your setup, depends on the animals. If you're doing corals or plants, they are photosynthetic, so you would need the type of lighting specifically for these types of animals to help them grow. I like it all depends on the person too, but I like Kessel's and Fluval specifically as a brand when it comes to the types of lighting. But Aquarium is a great addition. A great beginner-friendly addition to the tank. Again, I like ones with built-in lighting too, like a package deal. It's just helpful, but everyone's different. Everybody has different needs. Lighting is required for animal health and well-being, but it's also important because animals can't be in lighting 24/7. They also need a night, they need a day, just like humans do. So it's not just about lighting, it's also about the right timers. There's even so much technology now where you can change the types of lighting via color on your phone. You could turn them on and off with your phone. There's dimmers that make a dusk and a dawn for your animals too. So you can get really crazy with the lighting, but lighting is a requirement. Then there's the filtration. This is the bulk of what is underneath that stand. You have a sump. You'll have other types of filtration down there. There's 3 types of filtration. This is something that they even test you in an interview setting for professional aquarist position, is naming the 3 types of filtration: mechanical, biological, and chemical, all to assist you in making sure that the tank and the animals are healthy. Mechanical helps to remove organic compounds. Biological helps to add in beneficial bacteria for the nitrogen cycle, which we'll go over later. And then chemical is going to be the 3rd type of filtration, specifically designed to remove specific compounds that can actually change your water chemistry. So, for example, GFOs, which is a ferric oxide, it's like an iron oxide. People will add that into the filtration to help them remove sulfates as well as silicates in the water. Or not sulfates, sorry. I think phosphates. No, I think it's sulfates. I was right. Brain fart. And by removing those, it helps them maintain a pH, so their pH isn't wildly moving up and down. So this is a great example of what chemical filtration is for. But this is why we don't put fish in bowls, because then they're just sitting around in their icky stuff, and the nitrogen cycle can't do its job, and it can actually cause fish to become more sick. So filtration is also a requirement. When it comes to how it works together, it's going through every single aspect of this. The water is in a big cycle in itself. It actually goes out of the tank and it goes into the filtration, then it gets added back into the tank to make it nice and clean. And you could do something like a coarse sponge for a freshwater tank, super easy. It's literally built in. You just buy the filter pads, you slide it into the tank, the water goes through it, and that's the filter. That's all your filtration is. And that's a really good setup. When I first got started in freshwater, I did the filter pads because I didn't know much about filtration specifically with fresh water. When it comes to salt water, it can be a little bit more intimidating to look at. But again, once you know it, it becomes pretty easy to take care of it. This is a great bulk reef supply example. Bulk Reef Supply will sell you all of these products. So they have a lot. Most of the companies that sell you all these different things, Bulk Reef Supply, Kessel, Aquarium, all these bigger brands, they even will have on their websites blogs, they'll have forums, they have comment sections, they have all of these unique resources to help you with this kind of stuff. But this is a great example of how all of this filtration works together. The water goes into the sump, it goes into the filter socks, the protein skimmers, which is the mechanical filtration. It goes into the carbon, which is the chemical. There's a refugium that has live rock in it where the beneficial bacteria can live, and it can actually help them kind of utilize the nitrogen cycle more with the refugium light. It's pretty cool. It's not required though. And then the pump will push it back into the tank. So that's kind of how all of this stuff kind of works. Again, it just comes with time. It comes with experience to understand and learn. This is a skeletal structure. Obviously, it's going to look a little different in every single tank. But again, it's easier to know how all this stuff works if you're the one putting it together. But people do hire outside help to help them put everything together. And if there's an issue, you could have your hired help doing that. But I like to say it's easier for you to know how to fix a flood if you're the one who has built it and who has started said flood. And don't take that the wrong way. Everyone has started a flood. We always used to have a joke in the public aquarium I used to work at that you're not a true aquarist until you've flooded something. So it's not super common, but it will happen at some point. So just keep that in mind. Sediment, I don't go too into depth with the sediment. Just know that some animals require certain kinds of sediment, others don't. Some animals will consume said sediment, like there's some fish that will consume rocks because it does aid them in digestion. This is what they'll naturally do in the wild, so you don't want them to become impacted by those rocks and then have to get all those rocks surgically removed. So just do your research. This is why I say pick your animals first, because then you're able to do the research accordingly. So you're able to pick gravel, sand, or rock. If you're doing elasmobranchs, which I don't recommend for beginner owners, those would be like sharks and rays, they require sand. Don't put rock down, and don't allow them to sit on bare acrylic. I wouldn't let any animal sit on bare acrylic. Maybe a discus. I have seen some discus do really well, but they were going to prefer planted tanks. They're going to prefer decor in their tanks and everything like that too. So no animal wants to have just a bare tank. So add the gravel in, add the sand in, add the rock in. It helps kind of maintain a healthy standard for your animals. But that kind of leads us into decor a little bit too. Decor is hugely important, vastly important for the overall enrichment for your animals. It gives them spaces to hide so they feel safe. It gives them that natural feeling. Some animals require it, so like seahorses, great example. People do own seahorses as pets. They're pretty finicky, but you could do it. But again, research ahead of time. But they require hitching posts because they're not the best swimmers, and so having kelp, not real kelp, but like fake artificial kelp, can be really helpful for them, or like fake coral, really great for them to hitch and hold on so they can, have something to do. And tank size is going to be a matter there, as well as natural versus artificial. If you're doing natural plants, natural coral, tank size is going to play a huge factor in how many animals you can have in the tank at one time, because the live rock that the coral is sitting on, the coral is going to keep growing. Same with plants. The plants will keep growing, and then the animals kind of get pushed out of the tank a little bit because the size of the plants are getting bigger, the coral's getting bigger. So just keep this in mind as you're doing the decor, but you definitely want fish safe decor if you're going artificial route. So don't just put any random rocks from outside, random logs from outside into your tank. It's not going to do wonders for your filtration. The animals could have a negative impact if the decor isn't fish safe.